Hey y'all, today we're making a Grinch cake. Alrighty, so you are going to need 2 boxes of this pound cake mix. This is going to be an easy recipe, y'all. Something easy that you can throw together for your Christmas gathering this year. And this is our first Christmas video this year. I'm so excited, y'all. I love Christmas. I love Christmas. Anybody else? Let me know down in the comments who's got their tree up. Come on, be honest. You can tell us. We won't judge you, I promise. Mine's not up yet, but it will be going up soon. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do, like I said, is you're going to mix up your cake batter. Then you're going to go ahead and add in some red food coloring. Now, when I added this food coloring in, I wasn't thinking that because the cake mix is sort of a off-white, kind of yellowish looking color, that it wasn't going to get super red like I was thinking it was going to be. Now, it does bake up red, but I was still at this point thinking, Lord, I'm going to have a pink heart in the middle of this cake. But that's okay. It's neither here nor there. If it would have been pink, that would have been just fine. Okay, so make sure that you spray your pans really, really well. I thought I had some of the spray that has like the flour in it, but alas, I did not. So I used what I had. But I sprayed them really, really well. Now, these pans came from the Dollar Tree, so they're smaller than a regular, like if you just go to the store and buy like a regular size cake pan, these are smaller. Probably by an inch in each direction. So if you're making like a 9x5, like a regular size cake, like using a regular size cake pan, then you can just do one cake. But that would have been too much for one of these pans, so I split it into 2 cakes. So you know what? This ends up being the same amount. You just have, a different amount of cakes. But I mean, do you know what I'm saying? If you use the big one, your pieces will be bigger. Anyway, moving on, y'all. So let your red cake cool down completely. Mine did stick just a tiny bit, but it was kind of just the crumbs down there, but that's okay. Let it cool completely, and then you're going to take your little heart cookie cutter. Now, don't ask me what size this is. It's small. You can see right there in my hand. But use whatever you have. As long as you have one that's smaller than the size, like the height and stuff of your cake, it'll be just fine. If your hearts are a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, whatever the case is, it'll be just fine. Don't worry about it. So anyway, you're going to cut your cake into slices about the thickness of your cookie cutter. Now, I'm not using the 2 end pieces because, I didn't want to. But we're going to use all the other pieces. Well, some of them. It doesn't actually take the whole thing. So go ahead and cut your little hearts out. That's what we're going to do. Now, I'm not going to, I think I ended up having like 11, literally an odd number of hearts. Look how cute the little heart is, y'all. But I'm not going to tell you how many hearts you need to cut out because it's all going to depend on which size cake pan you use to make your cake and what size your cookie cutter is. And again, does not matter as long as the cookie cutter fits the size of your cake, okay? I would go on the smaller side if you can, though, because if you do a huge one, you'll have like a huge red heart in the middle of your cake and barely any green. Does that make sense? I know, look, I start talking on here and I get to rambling, so hopefully it makes sense. And look, don't worry about none of that, the little crust over there going to waste, because I promise you, my son took care of that. So I just cut out all my little pieces. Now you're going to take your same cake pans and you're going to, of course, wash them out, spray them real good. And then you're going to line those little hearts up and you're going to put those right down in the bottom. Now you want them to fit in there kind of snug because once you pour the green cake batter over, you don't want those hearts to shift around, because when we cut this, we want every piece, that you can see the heart in it. And if they shift around, it'll just be all wonky and crazy. So just make sure they're kind of snug down in there. So then you're going to take your second box of cake mix, make it according to your package directions, and then you're going to add to this one some green food coloring. Now, I made some Grinch recipes last year, so I already knew that this regular green color was going to turn out a Grinchy green. But You could definitely use like the neon green if that's what you have, but the regular green, I mean, you can see what color it turns out. Now, it'll turn a dark green if you just keep adding more and more food color into it, but I just got it to the color green I needed it for my Grinch cake, and that's where I stopped. Okay, so once you get your green cake all made up, you're going to take, I took a like a quarter cup measuring cup and just kind of scooped it out of there. This batter, if you've never had a pound cake, which I know most people probably have, but just, maybe a lot of people haven't made your own pound cake. The batter is super thick. It's a very dense cake. So I didn't want to risk trying to pour this over the top and then end up making a big old mess. So I thought it was easier, and it did turn out easier, to just kind of scoop out what I needed. And of course, like I said, I have 2 cakes, so I'm going to split the batter between my 2 cakes. So once you get it on there, make sure that you have a layer, enough that a layer is covering your hearts up, and then just kind of smooth it out the best that you can. Y'all, this cake was so easy to make, and the ingredients are so simple because it's boxed cake mix. Now, if you want to make homemade pound cake, feel free, but sometimes, there are recipes I make that are kind of, and I wouldn't say difficult, but like a little more involved, more ingredients. But sometimes you just want something that's easy to throw together, and that's what this recipe is. Easy to throw together, and it's so dang cute. So once they come out, I don't know if you could see on my red cake, but you can definitely see here on the green one, they do split a tiny bit on the top. It doesn't make any difference. It's a shallow little split, but you can see that our cake is nice and green under there. And then when we slice it up, we have our little red hearts in the middle. Y'all, isn't this so cute? I thought this was such a cute idea. And I love Grinchy stuff. And if I didn't say it already, I think I did. I made some Grinch things last year. I'll link those down below for y'all in case you want to do a Grinch theme something for your Christmas this year. But if you make your cake just like this, because the cake's brown on the top, it turns your green into kind of an ugly yellow color. So I got some green icing and put the green icing on. Now, it's not the right color green, but I couldn't find a more neon kind of green, so I had to go with what I could find, and that's what I used. But I think it turned out okay. And then I sprinkled some little candy hearts on the top. But y'all, it tastes really good, and it's so dang adorable. All right, that is all I've got for y'all today. I will catch y'all on the next one. Bye, y'all.